All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to count down 5 foods that could be making your knee pain way worse, especially once you're over 60. And trust me, some of these, they're going to surprise you.
That's a powerful way to start, right? It kind of hints that there's this really important conversation about knee pain that just gets missed, in a rushed doctor's appointment. And this isn't about another pill or some new procedure. Nope. It's about what's on your plate.
And here's the thing. We're always told that knee pain is, well, it's just part of getting older, right? Just wear and tear. But what if it's more than that? What if it's actually about chemistry? The idea is that certain foods can trigger this wave of inflammation that just floods your whole body. And where does it settle? It settles in your joints, kind of like floodwater finding the lowest spot in the land.
Okay, so let's get this countdown started. We're going to kick things off with 2 foods that, you've probably heard are bad for your health in general. But today, we're really going to zero in on how they specifically mess with your joints.
All right, coming in at number 5 on our list, we've got a whole category of foods a lot of us lean on for a quick lunch or an easy dinner. But that convenience, it comes with a hidden cost, a painful cost for your knees.
Yep, you guessed it. Processed deli meats and cured meats. We're talking about your deli turkey, that sliced ham, bacon, sausage, even hot dogs. Super convenient, for sure, but they hide a really damaging reality when it comes to your joints.
So check this out. This is a real triple threat to your joints. First, you've got all that sodium, right? Well, that makes you retain water and swell up, which puts even more painful pressure on your knees. Then you've got nitrates, the stuff they use to preserve the meat. Those things literally speed up the breakdown of collagen, and collagen is the scaffolding that holds your cartilage together. And finally, these meats are packed with these nasty things called, get this, advanced glycation end products, AGEs for short. And what they do is make your cartilage stiff and brittle. Seriously, think of old dried out leather. That's what's happening to your joints.
Okay, on to number 4. This one is everywhere. You'll find it in pretty much every single beverage aisle, and the tricky part is it's often disguised as a healthy option.
We're talking about sugary and artificially sweetened drinks. And listen, this goes way beyond just soda. Think about sweetened iced teas, sports drinks, all those vitamin waters, those fancy flavored coffee drinks. It's a way bigger category than most people think. And here's how they do their damage. Sugar, especially fructose, basically hits an alarm button in your body, releasing these inflammatory molecules called cytokines. And when you know it, these little guys love to hang out in the lining of your joints, causing more swelling and pain. Oh, and if you think diet drinks get you off the hook, think again. Artificial sweeteners can mess with your gut health, which, guess what, also leads to inflammation. So it's pretty much a lose-lose situation for your knees. All right, let's get into the next section and talk about foods number 3 and 2. Now, these next 2, they might really catch you off guard because a lot of people think they're totally harmless. Some people even think they're healthy.
Okay, so at number 3, this one's a little more technical, but stick with me because it is hiding in almost everything. We're talking processed foods, restaurant meals, and it's often pretending to be the healthier choice.
I'm talking about refined vegetable oils, corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil. For decades, these were praised as the heart-healthy options, right? Well, it turns out the problem isn't the oil itself so much as the balance of what's inside it.
And this right here, this explains it all. See, our bodies are designed to run on a nice balanced 1-to-1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fats. But our modern diet, it's completely flooded with these refined oils, and it has thrown that ratio completely out of whack, sometimes as high as 25-to-1. And since omega-6s are pro-inflammatory, well, you can see the problem. It's like the inflammation alarm in your joints is just stuck in the on position 24/7.
All right, time for the runner-up, number 2. Now, this is probably the most controversial one on the entire list because it's something we've been told our whole lives is absolutely essential.
Yep, conventional full-fat dairy. I know what you're thinking. Wait, drink your milk for strong bones. We heard it our whole lives, right? But the thing is, for a lot of people struggling with knee pain, things like whole milk, full-fat cheese, and ice cream can actually be a huge part of the problem. And here's why. It's kind of like a double whammy. First, dairy has something called arachidonic acid. That's another one of those pro-inflammatory omega-6 fats we were just talking about. But then there's the second, sneakier issue. For many people, a protein in dairy called casein can actually trigger an immune response. And that immune reaction can go haywire, targeting and supercharging the inflammation that's already simmering in your cartilage.
Okay, that brings us to the number one spot, the absolute worst of the worst. And this category gets the top spot because it doesn't just add to the fire of inflammation. No, it actually attacks the very system your body uses to put the fire out.
So what could it be? After everything we've talked about, what's the number one worst food for your knee pain?
It's the ultra-processed packaged snack foods. You know what I'm talking about. Crackers, chips, those cookies in a plastic tray, even so-called healthy granola bars. Basically anything in a crinkly bag with a list of ingredients a mile long that you can't even pronounce. These things are just a perfect storm of everything bad we've discussed. Sugar, refined oils, and a ton of chemical additives. And this shows you the chain reaction. It's like the biological smoking gun. First, that chemical cocktail just destroys your healthy gut bacteria. That damage then causes your gut lining to become leaky, and that lets these inflammatory compounds from bacteria escape from your gut and get right into your bloodstream. And one of the worst offenders is something called LPS. Now, LPS is a huge deal. Scientists say it's one of the most powerful triggers for the immune system they've ever found. When that stuff gets into your blood, it is literally like pouring gasoline on a fire. It sparks this massive body-wide inflammation, and that inflammation is always going to find the weakest spots, the most vulnerable, already inflamed areas, which for a lot of us is our knees. And this quote, this really hits home why these foods are number one. It's not just about the biology, it's about our behavior. Think about it. When your knee pain is flaring up, you don't feel like cooking, right? You're less mobile, you just want something easy, so you reach for exactly the kind of convenient, comforting food that is making the pain worse in the first place. It's a really vicious, cruel trap to be in. So, after all this, what are you supposed to do? Well, here's a simple challenge for you. Don't get overwhelmed and try to change everything overnight. Just pick one thing from this list. Just one. Maybe it's the soda, maybe it's the deli meats for your sandwiches, and cut it out completely for just 2 weeks. And just pay attention. Track how your knee feels. See what happens. Because here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Your knee pain isn't just about wear and tear. It's not just mechanics. It's about chemistry. And the most exciting, the most empowering part of all this is that you have far more control over that chemistry than anyone has probably ever told you. You're the one in charge. You have the power to change that internal environment, one bite at a time.